Pokémon, a game series that, since its introduction, has become one of the most beloved and popular worldwide phenomena. From Kanto to Galar, as well as the upcoming region of Violet and Scarlet, each new entry has introduced fans to new worlds full of diverse characters and Pokémon. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the 2018 remake of Pokémon Yellow that brought us back to the Kanto region. While we are going to stick mostly to the game itself, we are going to be dipping our toes into the anime just a little bit, just to get a better scope of certain characters. So grab your Pokeballs and join us as we explore the Kanto region. I'm Kyle with Pokebinge, and this is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu characters Good to Evil. As usual, we'll be starting with the most noble and heroic character, and working our way down to the most evil. These characters are the good. We're giving the gold medal of good to the mother of the player. She's the person that the player first encounters in every game, and while she never really has any serious character development, we need to acknowledge her role of being a solo parent in raising a pretty good character that the player is. Kind, accepting, and also willing to give the player useful items to help out on their journey. We really can't say anything bad against her. The only thing we can kind of fault her for is being okay with sending her underage child on a worldwide journey alone. But given that this falls into the logic of the Pokemon universe, we're gonna give her a pass. The silver medal of good goes to the protagonist of the game, the player's character. Despite being only 10 years old, the player is excited to go around the world to become the Pokemon League champion. Not only that, they're more than willing to help Professor Oak complete the Pokedex. During the main story, they tackle and bring down Team Rocket, the villainous faction in the game. Even though the character is an extension of the player themselves, they are undoubtedly a great person. They help bring down a crime syndicate, they're more than willing to help out anyone, and are kind to their Pokemon. The only reason why we're not awarding them the gold medal is because they suffer from silent protagonist syndrome, making all their interactions with other characters somewhat one-sided. But this is a very small factor against their character, and not to be cliche, but actions do speak louder than words, and the player's actions more than deserve the silver medal ranking. The bronze medal of good goes to none other than the original Pokemon mentor, Professor Oak. He is the expert of everything Pokemon in Kanto. Not only that, he's willing to give the player their starter Pokemon. He's not only the mentor figure in these games, but in other games throughout the series. Other Pokemon professors have mentioned how much they admire and respect Oak. He loves Pokemon and also gives the player the Pokedex, which helps record and inform the player on any and all Pokemon they catch. Oak not only helps the player, but he's also willing to help your rival as well in becoming a Pokemon master. While he is widely respected and very helpful, we have to question why he is assigning children to do his work rather than completing it himself. That, coupled with how he is somewhat harsh with the rival character in some situations, knocks him down a couple of spots. But he does care for those with good intentions, and a genuine love for Pokemon and passing along his knowledge to others. In fourth place, we have Mr. Fuji. This kind, elderly man is first encountered in Lavender Town, where he looks after orphaned and abandoned Pokemon, specifically Cubone. He stands up to the members of Team Rocket responsible for killing Cubone's mother, and chastises them for their actions. He has a strong moral compass, and isn't afraid to voice what he believes is right. After the player is able to chase out Team Rocket from the Pokemon Tower, and allow Mr. Fuji to exit, he rewards them with the Pokeflute needed to wake up Snorlax. Once the player arrives at Cinnabar Island and explores the abandoned lab, journals can be found that indicate that he studied the legendary Pokemon Mew. And while it isn't strictly canon, it is rumored that Mr. Fuji was aware of the birth of Mewtwo. While we can't imagine Mr. Fuji being a bad guy in any way, we still have to question if he was aware of Mewtwo's creation, or maybe even involved in some way. Since this cannot be confirmed, and looking at all the good he has done for Pokemon, as well as his personal convictions, he more than earns a spot in our good tier. Nurse Joy is up next. Found at every Poke Center, she is willing to help any and all who bring their injured Pokemon to her. Nurse Joy isn't afraid to tell trainers off for pushing their Pokemon too far in battle. This is done out of concern for the Pokemon, however, and as a way to help trainers grow. She doesn't charge anything for her medical services, and does seem to enjoy her job at the end of the day. Kind, caring, and even if she comes off as a bit stern at times, Nurse Joy is a great medical care provider for Pokemon. We're making this entry a three-way split between Lorelei, Bruno, and Lance from the Elite Four. Not too much is known about them both in the game and anime, but what we do know, however, is all of them take their ranking in the Pokemon League very seriously and present challenging battles for trainers. Much like gym leaders, each has their preferred Pokemon type, with Lorelei loving ice types, Bruno being a fighting type trainer, and Lance's Pokemon of choice being Dragon. Being part of the Elite Four, not only are they really strong trainers, they're widely respected throughout Kanto. Lorelei even helps the player fight off Team Rocket earlier in the game before she is challenged. Even though we don't know as much as we would like to know about these three, judging by the amount of respect others have for them, plus the fact that all of them respect both their Pokemon and prospective challengers, they get ranked right here in the good. While we are leaving actual Pokemon off the list, we are making an exception for the Ghost. More specifically, Marowak, the mother of the Cubone that Mr. Fuji looks after. Looking like other ghosts, she was killed by Team Rocket. Her spirit is found at the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. When she is approached without the player having the Sylph Scope, they're unable to get to the top floor, with Marowak's ghost telling them to leave. Once they do get the needed item, however, her true form is revealed, able to connect with her Cubone child and find peace, departing into the afterlife. She is an absolutely tragic character, and we don't fault her at all for how she treats those who approach her. But seeing how she loves her child and finds peace before departing for the afterlife, she definitely deserves a spot here. Next up, we have the rival of the player. Much like Gary/Blue from the original Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow games, this character also comes from Pallet Town at the start of the game. Depending on which game you're playing, their starter Pokemon is either Pikachu or Eevee. However, what makes your rival different in this game compared to their first-gen counterpart is their attitude. Unlike the original character, this rival is friendly towards the player and is willing to help out in some situations. True, they can be a bit cowardly at times, but they do have a strong character, and when push comes to shove, they're willing to lend a hand. At Pokemon Tower, they adopt the orphaned Cubone after Cubone's mother leaves for the afterlife. Not only that, they lend a hand in fighting Team Rocket both with the player and alone. Their good actions absolutely outweigh the bad, but their somewhat cowardly behavior is what brings them down a good bit. The Rock Pokemon Gym Leader, Brock, is up next. Undoubtedly one of the toughest gym battles, even though his gym is the first one the player goes to. Since it is hard to come across Pokemon whose moves are super effective against rock types early in the game, Brock can be an uphill battle for a lot of players with his Geodude and Onix. However, he has a deep love for Pokemon and is very knowledgeable about battling and helping out the player. Even though his primary role is being a gym leader, Brock has the ambition of becoming the world's best Pokemon breeder, showing his love and dedication to all Pokemon. Later in the game, Brock is encountered once again in Celadon City, giving the player the tea needed to give to the guard in order to enter Saffron City. It's also worth mentioning that he views himself as a ladies' man. No matter who they are, if Brock finds them attractive, he'll pursue them, though he never forces his advances further than flirting, and once he's shot down, he accepts and leaves it at that. Misty is up next. Water-type Pokemon are the favorite for the Cerulean Gym Leader. Like Brock, she is a strong and caring Pokemon trainer, accepting all challengers that come to her gym. Like her most well-known Pokemon from the anime, Misty uses Psyduck, as well as Starmie for her battle. While she is loving of her Pokemon and a respectful trainer, Misty has been shown to be a hothead at times. This doesn't happen very often though, and only if she is pushed too far. She was unhappy with how her sisters turned the Cerulean Gym into an aquatics acrobatics theater, merely handing out the Cascade badge instead of actually battling challengers. After becoming the leader of the gym, she's also taken to doing her training at the Seafoam Island. After defeating her, Misty can be found later in Vermilion City to help the player find their way to Diglett's cave. She undoubtedly cares for her Pokémon and loves a good challenge, but her temper and how she acts once it's flared up takes her down a couple places. Sprouting up into our next entry, we have Erica. This grass-type gym leader is found in Celadon City. She is a kind-hearted trainer and teaches students on becoming better trainers. While she only has Pokemon that she deems beautiful, if we're being honest with ourselves, a majority of players choose Pokemon based on how cool-looking they are as well. During the gym battle, Erica's Pokemon of choice are Tangela, Vileplume, and Weepinbell. She's been shown to be very close to her Vileplume, as it saved her from a Grimer when she was very young. While she is a kind person, she is somewhat vain and can be easily insulted. While we can appreciate her looking for beauty in Pokemon, we also feel she should have a bigger scope for the appeal in other Pokemon. Moving on, next up we have Blaine. He was once lost on a treacherous freezing mountain range, but was guided to safety by legendary Pokemon Moltres. He is a close friend of Mr. Fuji, having done research alongside him. Now living on Cinnabar Island, he's also known as a quiz master, having the player answer trivia even before he allows himself to be challenged to a gym battle. After the player gets the questions correct, they're faced with Blaine's Pokemon, including Arcanine, Magmar, and Ninetales. Like other gym leaders in this category, he is a great trainer, as well as being respectful to challengers, even if he requires them to jump through some extra hoops. Due to his habit of forcing prospective challengers to take his quiz before agreeing to battle them, rather than allowing anyone to openly fight for the Volcano badge, he is below our previous entries. And rounding out this category, we have the Poisonous Ninja Master, Fuchsia City's gym leader, Koga. As his name suggests, Koga's favorite Pokemon type is Poison. With Pokemon such as Venomoth, Weezing, and Muck on his team, you better have at least some antidotes or full heals before challenging him. And the battle is not the only challenge that the player faces once they enter his gym. Koga has set up multiple invisible walls throughout the place, making it difficult to navigate, both on your way to him as well as exiting the gym. In addition to being gym leader, Koga has also studied medicine and created his own potions that he uses to heal his Pokemon. He's also served as a teacher for his own daughter, and those who train at his gym in the ways of Pokemon and ninjutsu. What draws Koga further down this list is the fact that he enjoys how poison Pokemon can cause horror or despair in some people. While it isn't known why he enjoys this, he's not actively causing harm, and with what is known of his interactions with his daughter and students, as well as the player, we feel that Koga is a good guy at heart. And with the good characters wrapped up, we now move into more neutral territory. This is the gray area. The final member of the Elite Four, Agatha, takes the first spot in this category. She's the oldest member of the Elite Four, and much like the other three members, her position in the Pokemon League is widely known and respected. Agatha's Pokemon of choice are Ghost-type, including Gengar, Arbok, and Golbat. Unfortunately, like Lance, Lorelei, and Bruno, little is known about Agatha, but she has been shown to have a somewhat short temper. The reason why we're not adding her along with the other three members of the Pokemon League in the good area is because of her temper, mixed with the fact that she has a negative opinion of Professor Oak. The reason for this is due to Agatha feeling betrayed after Oak decided to retire as a trainer and focus on the Pokedex. While we can see where she's coming from, we just can't really justify her attitude towards others. Rounding out the gray area, we have the mistress of psychic Pokemon, the Saffron City gym leader, Sabrina. Much like Blaine's and Koga's gyms, actually getting to battle Sabrina can be tricky. Her gym is full of warp pads, which the player needs to use in the correct order to even reach Sabrina. Once they're able to challenge her for the Marsh badge, they're faced with the Pokemon team that includes Jinx, Slowbro, and Alakazam. And her Pokemon aren't the only ones who are psychic. Sabrina was born with psychic abilities herself. She comes across as a reserved young woman and doesn't have any malicious intent, but she has been shown using her abilities on other people from time to time. There was also a fighting type gym in Saffron City. However, Sabrina exploited the type advantage her psychic Pokemon had, forcing the fighting gym to become the fighting dojo. While she did not force them to close their doors permanently, there is something to be said about her stripping the ranking of the rival gym. But as there is one gym per major town and city, who's to say this wasn't the battle ordered by the Pokemon League? Even though she is respectful and a good trainer, the ambiguity of the fighting gym and that she's used her power on others are reasons enough to place Sabrina in the gray area. With the gray area complete, we now get to the dark side. These characters are the bad and the evil. We have our second to last gym leader, the electrifying Lieutenant Surge. Having fought in at least one war, his life was saved by electric-type Pokemon, making them his favorite. He's also known to have saved the life of one of the trainers in his gym that served alongside him in the army. So why is Surge found here, below most of the other gym leaders? Well, to start, he comes across as an arrogant man, looking down on trainers who he views as weak. He also goes way beyond the normal boundaries of the standard Pokemon battle, leaving his opponents severely injured. With his team of Voltorb, Magnemite, and Raichu, Surge's battling style is an all-out attack barrage, abandoning status moves altogether. Once he's defeated, however, Surge becomes humbled and accepts that the player is the stronger trainer. While he does learn a valuable lesson in the end, his attitude both on and off the Pokemon battlefield, as well as severely hurting opponents' Pokemon, are reasons enough to land Surge in the top spot in the bad section. Fan favorites and the most famous members of Team Rocket are up next. That's right, prepare for trouble and make it double because Jesse and James take this spot. Much like their anime counterparts, in this game they have both Arbok and Weezing as their Pokemon partners. Unlike the anime, however, they have zero interest in trying to kidnap the player's starter Pokemon, instead often seen guarding Giovanni. Even though they are in Team Rocket and serve under someone as awful as Giovanni, there is at least some good to both Jesse and James. They obviously care deeply for each other, as well as their own Pokemon. Jesse is much more aggressive than James, but they complement each other very nicely. Dipping our toes into the anime, we can absolutely sympathize with these two on their reasons for joining Team Rocket, as both of them had tragic childhoods. But while they are beloved by loads of people and they definitely have moral compasses to some degree, we can't overlook the roles Jesse and James take in serving Team Rocket. Knowing what we do of their characters, we are giving them a slight benefit of the doubt, and can't see them taking a role in making Cubone an orphan. But still, helping Giovanni and trying to take over Kanto definitely places them well below Lieutenant Surge. Much like Jesse and James, this next spot goes to multiple people as we're placing the bulk of Team Rocket next. As the villainous organization in the game, they have committed a whole wide range of crimes, from hostile takeovers and kidnappings to actually killing Pokemon. They have a lot to answer for, though unlike Jesse and James, very little is known about the other Team Rocket members. They do believe in Giovanni, and are willing to do anything asked of them, and seem to care very little, if at all, for others. They might just be Giovanni's foot soldiers, but the sheer amount of Team Rocket's members is somewhat alarming. Since most of them lack any backstory, it's unknown why they joined Team Rocket in the first place, and why they're so loyal to Giovanni. Since we really can't find any good attributes to give them, it goes without saying that their crimes result in their placement here. Our Silver Medal of Evil winner is Archer. He is the right-hand man of Giovanni, helping him construct plans, as well as being an informant. Archer is first located at the Team Rocket hideout, informing Giovanni of the Sylph Scope, and plotting with him in attacking the Sylph Company headquarters to seize the technology produced from there. After losing to the player, Archer allows them to confront Giovanni, but remains loyal to Team Rocket's cause. He's later found at the Sylph Company, where, once again, he stands in the way of getting to his boss. After being beaten again, Archer is last seen battling the player's rival, in order to clear the way to Giovanni. What places Archer this low is his position in Team Rocket. Since he helped his boss in forming the plan of attacking Sylph Company, it can be safely assumed that he has his fingers in a lot of the other crimes Team Rocket commits, and shows absolutely no remorse for his actions. And finally, surprising nobody, we award the Gold Medal of Evil to the head of Team Rocket himself, as well as the final gym leader, Giovanni. Like we stated earlier in this video, Giovanni's goal is to have the entire Kanto region under his control, ordering attacks on various businesses, wanting to collect rare and powerful Pokemon to aid in his schemes, and we cannot say this enough, having Pokemon actually killed. This crime syndicate boss is the worst of the worst. He views Pokemon as nothing more than tools to help him get what he wants, and treats anyone who goes against him poorly. He even ordered the unethical experimentation that created Mewtwo, showing he cares very little, if at all, for the suffering of others. Giovanni does acknowledge and respect someone's strength, as shown after his defeat at the player's hands. With his team of ground-type Pokemon, including Nidoqueen, Rhydon, and Nidoking, his battles are no walk in the park. Once Giovanni is finally defeated for the first time, he does show remorse. Not for his actions, but because he felt like he let Team Rocket down, and he disbands the crime organization. Though if he hadn't been defeated, we gotta question how much further Giovanni would have went. So his gold medal of evil is more than well deserved. And with our morality spectrum complete, let's wrap things up with our sinner medals. The Lust medal goes to Brock. Brock automatically wants to date any pretty girl that crosses his path. The Greed medal goes to Giovanni. The guy wants to have the entire Kanto region under his control. The Wrath medal is awarded to the Ghost, aka Marowak's spirit. Until she was reunited with Cubone, her spirit was consumed by anger and emotional pain. The Pride medal recipient is Lieutenant Surge. He has a high opinion of himself and looks down on those he sees as weak. We're giving the Darwin medal to the bulk of Team Rocket. Since we don't know why they follow Giovanni exactly, some come across as blind followers and not thinking for themselves. And finally, the Envy medal winner is the player's rival. They come across as jealous of the player in many situations. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Make sure to hit that notification bell and binge more of our Pokemon Good to Evil videos, as well as our card openings and other Spectrum format videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.